How did a feel-good romance movie explode into a $400 million Hollywood firestorm? And why does Blake Lively call last week's ruling a major win, while Justin Baldoni swears the battle has only begun? The answer winds through secret complaints, sky-high countersuits, and a judge's decision that changed the stakes overnight. Stay with me, because every twist pulls back one more layer of a fight that could redefine who actually holds power in Tinseltown. Blake Lively's Instagram story hit like a thunderclap. In white text on a stark black background, she vowed to stand shoulder to shoulder with 19 organizations protecting women's rights, condemned what she called manufactured shame, and urged followers to donate to legal aid groups. No glamorous selfie, no red carpet sparkle, just raw resolve. At first glance, it looked like a routine advocacy post, but fans instantly sensed deeper pain. Why speak out so fiercely now? And what retaliatory lawsuits was she really talking about? To understand that urgent tone, we have to rewind to the set of It Ends With Us, long before the box office numbers rolled in. Rumors say tension on that set flared almost as soon as cameras started rolling. December 2024 brought whispers that Lively had filed a confidential complaint alleging hostile behavior and retaliation after she raised on-set safety concerns. Crew members leaked stories of closed-door shouting matches, while tabloids hinted that Baldoni's good guy image was fracturing behind the scenes. Nothing was proven, but the combination of stardom, romance novel fandom, and possible misconduct made every gossip site light up. Baldoni denied the allegations outright, insisting the production was firmly professional and respectful. Yet insiders claimed the atmosphere turned toxic long before the final wrap party. Denial, however, wasn't his only strategy. He chose a counterstrike that stunned even industry. January 2025, Justin Baldoni filed a bombshell defamation lawsuit. Price tag, $400 million. Targets, Blake Lively, her husband, Reynolds, and longtime publicist, Leslie Sloan. He accused them of sabotaging his reputation, scaring off investors, and feeding false narratives to the press. 2 months later, the suit ballooned to $650 million when the New York Times ran a column questioning the movie's labor practices. Baldoni added the newspaper to the complaint. His lawyer, Brian Friedman, crowed to reporters aggressively, "We'll sue them into oblivion." The soundtrack of this legal thriller suddenly went from tense violin to full-blast heavy metal. But Hollywood loves a third-act reversal, and Judge Louis J. Liman was about to On June 10, 2025, Judge Liman dismissed Baldoni's sprawling defamation claims. In a scorching opinion, he ruled there was no showing of actual malice, labeling Lively's alleged threats as nothing more than hard-nosed, perfectly legal bargaining. One line spread across social media like wildfire. Authoritative, a demand letter is not defamation, it is negotiation. Baldoni's separate $250 million claim against the Time also tossed within hours. Baldoni's camp slammed the ruling as an illusion, swearing to appeal and promising, defiant, this fight isn't close to over. Critics called the decision a triumphantly total knockout. Lively's supporters cheered, yet legal analysts warned the match might be headed for overtime, not an early stoppage. Even as one lawsuit crumbled, another legal grenade was quietly rolling across the floor. Tucked inside Lively's original complaint were 2 emotional distress counts, claims that could have required her private therapy records to be handed over. Sensing a trap, Lively's lawyers voluntarily dropped those counts to shield her medical history. Baldoni's team crowed that she was running from evidence, but the judge undercut that spin by confirming distress evidence could still come in under her remaining claims. Translation: Lively's personal anguish might still hit the jury, even without opening her medical file. The pressure on Baldoni stayed high, but a new deadline now loomed that could swing momentum back. Judge Liman gave Baldoni until June 23 to refile two narrow theories: tortious interference and breach of the implied covenant of good faith. Refile successfully, and he claws back a piece of that nine-figure claim. Fail, and most of his civil ammo disappears forever. Friedman immediately teased a wave of depositions: Lively, Reynolds, multiple producers, warning that every text and every email would land under oath. Insiders say Baldoni hopes fresh discovery could surface a smoking gun group chat that revives the public relations war. Yet as the legal chessboard reset, internet sleuths spotted a side thread that sent Reddit into overdrive. Judge Liman gave Baldoni until June 23 to refile two narrow theories: tortious interference and breach of the implied covenant of good faith. Refile successfully, and he claws back a piece of that nine-figure claim. Fail, and most of his civil ammo disappears forever. Friedman immediately teased a wave of depositions: Lively, Reynolds, multiple producers, warning that every text and every email would land under oath. Insiders say Baldoni hopes fresh discovery could surface a smoking gun group chat that revives the public relations war. Yet as the legal chessboard reset, internet sleuths spotted a side thread that sent Reddit into overdrive. That's How Much It Ends With Us has raked in worldwide, proving controversy can sometimes turbocharge ticket sales. Producers quietly celebrate, but the profits make the pending trial even more consequential. March 2026 is circled in red. That's when a federal jury will hear whatever claims survive the pre-trial gauntlet. If Baldoni's amended complaint sticks, damages could still soar. If it dies, Lively may countersue for malicious prosecution. Meanwhile, both stars weigh future projects. Every studio exec is running reputation risk line items through spreadsheets right now. Yet ask Lively what truly matters, and she points far beyond Hollywood's bottom line. In her Instagram story, she framed this fight as part of a wider war against retaliatory litigation used to silence women. She highlighted organizations funding legal defenses, reminded followers how costly lawsuits can scare victims into silence, and promised she would not be bullied into disappearing. Critics say she's positioning herself as a movement leader. Supporters hail her courage for leveraging celebrity to aid less powerful voices. Either way, the message lands. For Lively, the courtroom is just one battlefield in a larger cultural clash over who pays the price when allegations go. So where does that leave us? One judge's pen erased a $400 million claim, but the June 23rd deadline could breathe life into a slimmer lawsuit. Depositions threaten to expose group chats no one ever meant to see. A March 2026 jury could reshape both careers or confirm exactly what Judge Liman has already ruled. And hanging over everything is a question the industry hates to ask aloud. Will the next actor who spots harassment speak up, knowing a nine-figure countersuit might follow? The credits haven't rolled on Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni. The real ending is still out there, waiting for a jury, and maybe the entire town, to decide whose story rings true. Still out there, waiting for a jury, and maybe the entire town, to decide whose story rings true.